Salvete, hello everybody, welcome to another video. This is Latin with Stephen. I hope you're well wherever you are watching this from. Today we're going to talk a little more about third declension nouns. So in the last video we looked at nouns in the singular, nouns of the third declension. There are actually 5 declensions, so we're doing well. We're up to number 3. We've learned first declension ending in a, like puella. Second declension masculine ending in us, like servus, or er, like magister, puer, and neuter ending in like bellum. And we said in the nominative singular, they vary very much, the third declension nouns. There isn't a set ending as such. They often end in a consonant. But the pattern itself, the endings through the different cases, that pattern is fixed, and we can learn that. Alright, so let's go back to our good old gladiator, our gladiator. It's masculine, third declension, and this is how it goes. Let's do it together, guys, just to practice. Gladiator, gladiator, gladiatorem, that's your accusative. Gladiatoris, genitive of the gladiator. Gladiatori, 2 or 4, dative. Gladiatore, ablative case, for example, with the gladiator, cum gladiatore. So M, S, E, E, we're always going to have these letters indicating third declension singular. Let's just practice this a few times. Alright. Gladiator, gladiator, gladiatorem. Gladiatoris, gladiatori, gladiatore. Again. Gladiator, gladiator, gladiatorem. Gladiatoris, gladiatori, gladiatore. One last time. Gladiator, gladiator, gladiatorem. Gladiatoris, gladiatori, gladiatore. Okay. What other words did we meet that end in tor? Can you remember? Well, we had the word for merchant. What was that? Quite similar to the English. Mercator. Well done if you remember this. Mercator. We had a baker. Bit funny this one. Pistor. Pistor. Mercator. Pistor. What about a victor? Champion, conqueror. Victor, just like the English. That's where we get the word from. Victor, or Victor, if you prefer. All right. What else did we have? Let me remind myself. Oh, we had the word for an orator, a professional speaker in the forum, like Cicero. Orator. Okay, so we've got gladiator, mercator, victor, pistor, orator. So let's just practice with, let's take the merchant and just apply the ending. So it looks identical in the nominative with the tor. The vocative doesn't change, remember that. So if I shout merchant, come here, gladiator, come here, it's the same as the nominative. So that's nice and easy. So it's going to go mercator, mercator, mercatorem, mercatoris, mercatori, mercatore. Let's do baker, pistor. Pistor, pistor, pistorem, pistoris, pistori, pistore. Let's make some simple sentences then. How about I greet the baker. I greet the baker. Ego, saluto, pistorem. Pistorem, saluto. Pistorem, saluto. What about we love? Let's pluralize it. We love the gladiator. We love the gladiator. Nos, we. Amamos gladiatorem. Gladiatorem or gladiatorem amamos. Let's have a nominative. What about the orator, the speaker, rushes or hastens to the forum? The orator rushes or hastens to the forum. What's that verb? This was on our third conjugation verbs lesson. To rush or to hasten somewhere. Contendere. Contendere. So it's third conjugation ere. Shall we just quickly run through the present tense conjugation? Contendo, contendis, contendit, contendimus, contenditis, contendunt. Alright, so it gets I throughout and unt in the plural. So the orator hurries to the forum. orator, ad forum contended. Orator, ad forum contended. The merchant also hurries to the forum. The merchant also hurries to the forum. Mercator, quoque ad forum contended. Orator ad forum contended. Mercator quoque ad forum contended. Let's try a genitive. What can we do? Let's take the victor, and the victor has a sword. Sword is gladius. The sword of the victor. The sword of the victor. Gladius victor victoris, because of the belonging to his genitive. Genitive singular in this case, victoris. Or you can flip them round. Victoris gladius. Victoris gladius. Alright. What about we see? Using the verb videre. We see the sword of the victor. We see the victor's sword. Videmus. Gladi. What's the sword going to become? If we see the sword is the object of the verb, the direct object, which is to say accusative. It's an us word, therefore becomes Videmus gladium victoris. Gladium victoris videmus. Gladium victoris videmus. Victoris gladium videmus. Victoris gladium videmus. I thought of another tor word, another masculine third declension. I bet you can guess this one in English. Imperator. Imperator. We get a very similar English word from it. At least that's where I think it comes from. Emperor. Could be wrong. Emperor. Imperator. I'll talk a little bit more about that one. That word, the meaning of that word, at the end of the video, if I remember. Alright, guys, let's do plurals. Let's add plurals. Let's learn something new. So, nominative and vocative are both the same. Gladiatores, es. Ace. Gladiatores. Accusative, gladiatores, also the same. Well, this is nice. I like it when they do this. We can learn 3 in one go. Gladiatores, gladiatores, gladiatores. Which is to say, nominative remembers a subject of the sentence. So the gladiators are doing the action, such as the gladiators are walking. It's going to be gladiatores ambulant. Remember NT for a plural verb. Gladiatores ambulant. If they're the object of the sentence, well, they're still going to be gladiatores. So we love the gladiators. Gladiatores amamos. So actually, unlike with the first and second declension nouns, if we just take this word in isolation, gladiatores, and we saw that word at the start of the sentence or somewhere in the sentence, and we can't see the other words around it, at that moment in time, it could actually be nominative plural. Vocative, I suppose, is rare, it's only direct address, or accusative plural. So you have to look at the rest of the sentence to work out what's going on, and then bear also the context in mind. All right. So sometimes it could potentially be a subject or an accusative, a direct object. So gladiatores, gladiatores, gladiatores. Genitive, gladiatorum. Okay, this is a bit new. Of the gladiators. The swords of the gladiators would be gladiatorum. The fans of the gladiators, gladiatorum, blah, blah, blah. So we've met as an accusative singular, servus, serve, servum, dominus, domine, dominum as a direct object. And here we've got as of the in the plural, belonging to a different category of noun. All right. Dative, to or for the gladiators. We give the prizes to the gladiators. We cook a meal for the gladiators. gladiatoribus. So singular gladiatori, gladiatoribus. The nice thing is the ablative plural is the same, gladiatoribus. We're going to need to rehearse this, aren't we, a little bit, recite this. So, gladiatores, 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 gladiatorum, gladiatoribus, gladiatoribus, gladiatores, 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 gladiatorum, gladiatoribus, gladiatoribus. Again, gladiatores, 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 gladiatorum, gladiatoribus, gladiatoribus. And let's just compare them going across ways. So, tor to tores, tores, to ace there, accusative. And then where this is is, e, it's ibus, ibus. So we'll take a little bit of getting used to this one, but we'll see it a lot. And as I said earlier, the good thing is with the third declension, it's all the same endings, even though the nominative form of the word looks often quite different. Let me give you an example just to make it clear. For instance, the word for the sun that shines is soul. Well, soul, if you saw that in the dictionary on a piece of paper, doesn't look like anything like that, but it's also third declension as it happens. And the accusative would be solem, the genitive solis, soli, sole. So even though the basic form of the word appears very different, it still follows the same pattern when it's third declension. So worry not. All right. Let's make a few sentences then, guys. All right. What's the verb to fight? With the pugnus, the fist. Don't be pugnacious. Pugnare. Pugnare. First conjugation are verb. The gladiators fight today, or are fighting today. Remember, it's the same thing in Latin in terms of the verb. The gladiators are fighting today. Who's fighting? The gladiators, which is to say they are the subject, the nominative. Gladiatores, hodie today, pugnant. Gladiatores, hodie pugnant. Often fight. Saepe, pugnant. Always fight. Starts with an S. Semper, pugnant. Saepe, pugnant. Often fight. Semper, pugnant. Always. Saepe, pugnant. Often fight. Semper, pugnant. Always fight. Gladiatores, hodie, pugnant. Can you remember the word for who? Begins with like a qu sound. If it's masculine, it's qui. We did the qui, qui, quod. And the good news is in the nominative case, the subject case, be it one singular or plural, it's still qui, Q-U-I. So the gladiator who, gladiator qui. The gladiators who, gladiatores qui. Of course you need to pluralize the verb, but you can still use your qui. If it's male or masculine, a thing. Qui. So the gladiators who fight today, or who are fighting today, what would that be? The gladiators who are fighting today. Gladiatores qui hodie pugnant, with nt, always nt for plural, for third person plural for they. Gladiatores qui hodie pugnant. It's an incomplete sentence. How can we finish it? Hasten to the arena. The gladiators who are fighting today hasten or are hastening to the arena, using the verb contendere. Gladiatores qui hodie pugnant. Ad arenam, accusative. Ad arenam contendunt. Let's take the main clause. The gladiators hurry. Gladiatores contendunt. To the arena. Gladiatores ad arenam contendunt. Gladiatores ad arenam contendunt. Let us now insert that extra information which we call a relative clause. Why relative? Because the word qui, who, relates back to the gladiators. It forms a link. Gladiatores qui hodie pugnant ad arenam contendunt. Gladiatores qui hodie pugnant ad arenam contendunt. Nunc ad arenam contendunt, are now hastening to the arena. Well done if you're getting this, guys. This is very good. Quite complicated now, isn't it? Excuse me. Let's make a similar situation. What about the merchants work today or are working? Using laborare. The merchants, mercatores, because they're doing the action, they're working, nominative. Mercatores, hodie, lab, or laborant, enti, laborant. Mercatores hodie laborant. Alright. The merchants who are working today. Now they're masculine again, so we can stick to our qui for who. The merchants who are working today. Mercatores. Qui hodie laborant. Hasten to the forum this time. Not the arena. Ad forum contendunt. Main clause. The merchants hasten to the forum. Mercatores. Ad forum contendunt. Mercatores ad forum contendunt. Insert your extra clause, your relative clause. Who are working today? Qui hodie laborant. Mercatores. Qui hodie laborant. Ad forum contendunt. Mercatores qui hodie laborant. Ad forum contendunt. Very well done if you're getting those. Let's play away with some genitives, guys. Let's do some genitives. Why not? What's the word for money? Pecunia. Pecunia in English. Pecuniary. Pecuniary affairs. Monetary matters. Someone who doesn't have a lot of money may be described as impecunious. The money of the merchants, which is to say the merchants s apostrophe afterwards, money, belonging to plural. Pecunia mercatorum, or mercatorum pecunia. If it's just one merchant, it will be pecunia mercatoris. You see, mercatoris pecunia. But in this case, pecunia mercatorum. Pecunia mercatorum. We see the money of the merchants. The merchants' money. Well, the verb is videmus. Videmus. The money is what we're seeing. Therefore, it's accusative pecuniam. It's still of the merchants. Whether the money is accusative or nominative is beside the point when it comes to of the merchants, because genitive is still genitive. Mercatorum. Pecuniam. Mercatorum. Videmus. Pecuniam mercatorum videmus. Mercatorum pecuniam videmus. It's on the table. We see the merchant's money on the table. Table is mensa. Pecuniam mercatorum in mensa videmus. Pecuniam mercatorum in mensa videmus. Very good. Let's try dative. We give the book to the orator. We give the book to the orator. Singular, first of all. What's a book, guys? Think library. Liber. It's masculine. It's second declension. It's one of those air ones. In the accusative, what's going to happen to it? Librum. Librum. It loses that E in the middle. Just instead of liberum, it's just librum. Liber, librum. Accusative. The book. So, what did I say? We give the book to the orator. Librum. We give is going to be from dare, damus. Librum damus. Oratori, if it's singular. Oratori. Librum damus. Librum oratori damus. What if we're giving the book to multiple orators? There's a couple of them and we're giving them a book to read and to share. Librum damus, still. Oratoribus. Dative plural. Ibus. So, ibus. Ibus. Librum oratoribus. Oratoribus damus. I give the money to the merchant. I give the money to the merchant. Pecuniam mercatori, I give dough. It's an easy one, dough. Pecuniam mercatori, dough. To the merchants, 2, 3 of them. Pecuniam mercatoribus, dough. Mercatoribus, dough. Let's try an ablative. I am walking with the gladiators. I am walking with the gladiators. Walking, ambulo. Cum, with. Cum always triggers the ablative case when it means with. Cum gladiatoribus. Cum gladiatoribus. Ambulo. I often walk with the gladiators. Asaipe. Cum gladiatoribus ambulo. Often. Semper. Sorry, always. Semper. Cum gladiatoribus ambulo. Semper, always. Cum gladiatoribus ambulo. One last one. What about the house of the victor? The house of the victor. One victor. Villa victoris. Villa victoris. I enter the house of the victor. The verb to enter is entrare. Entrare. Intro. Villam victoris. Intro. Villam victoris. Intro. How about the boy walks with the bakers. I'm struggling now to think of something. The boy walks with the bakers. Puer. Come, what's a baker? Pistor. Pistor. Cum pistoribus ambulat. Puer cum pistoribus ambulat. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Let's just go through the endings once more. So gladiatores, 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 gladiatorum, gladiatoribus, gladiatoribus, gladiatores, 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 gladiatorum, gladiatoribus, gladiatoribus. So it's going to take a little bit of practicing. I think the key thing to just bear in mind is that the nominative and accusative in the plural for the third declension both have ace. So that really is just going to force you to analyze the sentence. So for instance, if there was a singular verb, let me make a sentence off the top of my head. First word in your sentence you're reading across says gladiatores. Second word says laudat. The verb laudare, laudable, is to praise. Right, well, is laudat at? Is that a plural? No, it's singular, third person, he, she, it. Right, so the gladiators can't be nominative doing the action because that would have to be gladiatores laudant. And we follow the sentence through and it says gladiatores laudat orator. Gladiatores laudat orator. Well, it's the orator, the speaker, who is praising the gladiators. You see, because we have singular verb laudat and orator, nominative singular, hence subject doing the action. So this is the thing where the accusative object often comes first in Latin, so you have to look quite carefully. It would be a mistake to start your sentence off by saying the gladiators, and then you get to praise and you think, hang on, that's singular, that's plural, and you're in a mess. So read through first. I hope that's helpful, guys, and I hope that's made sense, what I've said there. I do this off the cuff, so I've not got a script or anything. I said I'd come back to this word imperator because it's interesting. Now, we refer to the Caesars often as emperor, don't we, in the English tongue? Emperor Hadrian, Emperor Claudius, Emperor Constantine. Right, well, they did indeed start. I mean, Augustus began with using imperator as what we call a praenomen, a first name. Imperator, Gaius, blah 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 blah, Augustus. Now, technically, in the Republic, constitutionally speaking, imperator was a term that was used and bestowed upon a successful general having won a decisive or particularly excellent victory over an enemy. So not just your average victory, but over a foreign enemy, won a fantastic victory, and the soldiers then would shout in acclamation, Imperator! They would call him Imperator as an honour because of this victory, whereupon he would then be able to request of the Senate in Rome to grant him a triumphant procession, a one-day triumphant procession, originally one day, through the city of Rome. When he returned to Rome, he wouldn't, if thus allowed, he wasn't allowed to step in to the city with his, what was called an imperium, the authority he'd been given with the army, because you weren't allowed to have that power within the city itself, only out fighting the enemies. So the Senate in the Temple of Bellona, on the Campus Martius, would hopefully consent to this triumph, and then on the day of the triumphal procession, it would have been the consul, the chief magistrate, who was also the general, could have entered through the Campus Martius, the Field of Mars, the city, through the Porta Triumphalis, I think, through one of the city gates, and then would wend his way right through the city, and he'd have all the spoils and booty of war being carried and showed off to the people who would line the streets. You'd have conquered enemies now as slaves in chains, and the triumphant general would be transported on a carriage driven by 4 white horses. A slave would stand behind him holding a laurel, a crown above his head, shouting, "Remember, you are a man, not a god," in case he got too carried away with himself. And they go all the way up the Capitoline Hill to the temple of Jupiter, Capitoline Jupiter, and white bulls would be offered as a sacrifice. So that technically was your imperator. And so the more constitutional emperors in the early days, such as Tiberius, and then even the other early emperors, so Gaius and Claudius, did not use it as a kind of first name, imperator. Not until Nero did that come into fashion again, after Augustus. But then later it became a normal part of the title, imperator, emperor, and that's where we get it from. So just bear in mind, originally the meaning was it was connected to military victories and the prospect of a triumphal procession. Okay, so imperator, a kind of general, I guess. So guys, that's a slight digression there. Perhaps that's interesting to you. Thank you for watching this video. I'll be back very soon with another video. We'll do some more nouns, we'll practice our verbs a little bit, and we'll keep it moving. So thank you for watching, take care, and I shall say walete.